So how did you get involved with the magazine to begin with?
Well, it started as a small fanzine done by a few guys, and I somehow liked it. It was so raw and attitude. They had an attitude that everything that's been done before is just crap, and we know better what is what. And I was just interested in it. It looked really bad, and it was not a good fanzine. But I got involved with making it, and in 2 years or something like that, I was the editor, and the style changed quite a lot to more professional-looking one. The point is that we cover those things I'm interested in, and hoping that other people are also interested in them. The main point has always been science fiction literature, authors that haven't been yet very well known in Finland. There may be no translations yet, but which are really important and the cutting edge at the moment. We try to find these kind of authors and tell about them to Finnish audiences, and that's one of the main points have always been. And the other thing is, I like a lot about movies and comics and all these kind of odd things that are underground things or something like that, and we cover them if I find them interesting enough. And movies have been always with us. We covered anime and Hong Kong even before nobody in Finland knew anything about them. And of course, old horror movies, some Italian giallo movies, and of course Turkey movies. They are great. Old those movies that are so bad that they are so good.
Yeah.
And comics have always been also involved with that about that all the time, because we.
You said you published in translation authors who had not yet been translated into Finnish. Has that affected then what does get translated into Finnish, do you think? To some extent?
Yeah. In few cases, yes. Publishers also read that about that. And when we write about somebody, there might be that the publishers get interested, at least some of our readers get interested, and the more there are interested people in somebody's work, the probability that they will get translated grows with it. And there have been writers, for example, Philip K. Dick. I don't think there was any translations before that. We did it in 1987, a big Philip K. Dick number. Afterwards, nowadays the science fiction writers who have more books translated to Finnish than anybody else.
Shifting focus a little bit, in your reading of Finnish science fiction and fantasy authors, is there something unique about Finnish science fiction and fantasy in terms of the point of view or the outlook or the execution?
So you mean authors? Or
authors, yes.
Authors, yeah. Yes, I think there's a much more humane the stories. The humans and the characters are quite often the main thing in it. And the stories are built around the humans, and you really get to know these characters, and they're well built. That's one point. For example, J-Pekka Mäkelä's new science fiction novel Alzheim just came out, and it's really about the people, although it happens in a different planet, 50 light years from Earth. But that's just background, and the story is with the lives and hopes and dreams of the characters. And one other point is, I think this is more seen in the short stories, that quite often nature is in a big point, because Finland people live in small cities, most of the people, or in the middle of the woods almost, and they have a connection to the nature, and that's been very important in a lot of stories. And quite often they're, at least the fantasy stories, they're not like a big Tolkienistic fantasies, but maybe even more like some small fantastic happenings in a very realistic surroundings. And then there's of course this, I don't know how you say this, these people who, well, somebody says a new weird or something like that, but like Leena Kruun or something like that, Pasi Jääskeläinen, whose new novel just came out also, really good one. And they just twist the reality a bit. It looks in a bit twisted way, and you really can almost always tell, is there really anything supernatural or happening, or is it just in their minds or something like that? And don't use the cliches of fantasies or anything like that. Just tell stories that might use fantastic elements or not.
And what's the part of doing the magazine that you enjoy the most, really?
Well, sometimes I'd say none. Because sometimes it just seems like you're just hauling this really big rock up the mountain and it doesn't seem to move anywhere. But I think at that point when the texts are ready and the layouts are ready and you can just print what's it going to look, the whole thing, and that's one point that I like. And of course when it comes out of the printers, the whole magazine ready, and you just go through it. And when they fit all the parts together and make something that's more than the parts of the whole thing, and with the best numbers you get something like that.